Hey guys, how's it going today? You all right?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm really well. Thank you so much. It's springtime, perfect weather. So I think we're all feeling really good, Thank you for letting me come today. Can you tell us the name and the location and you guys' names and everything you want us to know about the place, the classes you guys offer?
Sure. Okay. We started out, it's Pace Gracie Jiu Jitsu. And so, in the beginning, everybody knew us as Pace Gracie Jiu Jitsu. When we compete as, MAG JJ or, MAGJJ. So it's my name, Gracie Jiu Jitsu.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then we're also known as the Pandas because that's our thing.
Brilliant
Pandas.
branding. I know. I love it. It's on your rash guard there. I see it.
Yes, it's on the rash guard.
I love it. Me and my son, we love the Panda. And where are we at? We're in Pace, right?
We are in Pace, yes.
And what road we're on?
Highway 90. Yeah, so we're on Highway 90. What's the best way to identify us? I mean, you can't miss it. We have this big monster sign, and it's got the Filipino sun on it, and that's it. Actually, that is on one side of the sign, and on the other side is this big fat panda head. So it's funny because I'll be at a restaurant or I'll be hanging out somewhere, and people will actually use the panda head as a reference for directions. So like if you see the panda, you've gone too far, or if you see the panda, turn right, turn left. So I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah. What color is the sign? What color is the sign?
Black and white.
Black and white. Yeah.
Yes.
Actually coming here, I didn't even look at my GPS. I just knew going over the bridge, and then it's like maybe 5 minutes or so on the left, something like that. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe 7 minutes or so. Yeah. It's just easy. Man. Well, show me around the place. Goodness gracious, I'm just seeing all these belts right here right away.
Yeah.
Huge seating area. I mean, goodness, let me back up. This is a huge seating area.
We've been at other academies before, and I've coached at other academies before. And like a lot of the places, I'm not saying that it's not inviting, but it doesn't make you feel like you want to stay sometimes either. It's just chairs. And we're like, you know what? We want people to be able to come here, not just train. We want people to congregate. We want people to hang out, and that's why we set it up the way we set it up, because I mean,
tables in here.
Yeah. People can do it. Kids can do their homework, parents, when their kids are doing, training, they can, the parents can be here. A lot of parents, they work really hard, and, they're trying their best to have their kids, train, but at the same time, they're trying to get their work done as well. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. And you got some drinks and snacks as well, right?
Yes, we do. We have a lot drinks and snacks. Some of them are not the healthiest, but I mean, we have
drinks and snacks.
Yeah.
Really hungry.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I love it. It's so clean in here, So you got all these TVs, right?
Yes.
That's cool, man. So they don't have to be like over there at the openings, and they can watch the kids on the
definitely
here, right?
Yeah.
Parents,
yeah. So I mean the TVs. Again, we're just trying to figure out a good situation. From here, line of sight, you have good visibility if you want to watch your kids training. But I think the hardest part is, and I get it, a lot of parents get really excited and they want to coach their kids, but they've never had any experience, coaching or doing jiu-jitsu. And I'm like, you know what? Let's meet in the middle.
I understand.
Yeah, they can't.
It is a meeting
Yeah.
The balance of the two.
So they can't be here coaching their kid, but at least they can be over here. And we have not tiny screens, but these are really big screens. So
huge.
yeah,
huge screen.
Yeah, so we got two different angles. They're both on the same camera right now, but we typically have two different angles so the parents can view their kid and just have a good time watching them. Or again, the way the seating is set up, they can hang out and work. Or a lot of these parents come over and this is their hangout time. So it's pretty cool.
I get that.
A lot of friendships have formed by
Especially
sitting here.
Kind of like a tiny little barrier in the middle there. It's,
right.
Yeah, it's a kind of an in-between area. Right?
Little parties, you have to say, shh, we're teaching. Keep it down.
Yeah.
So what about the classes you guys offer here?
Classes?
So we have adult classes in the morning. And then in the afternoon, we have kid classes. And then later on in the evening, adults come back and train.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. And then the weekends as well.
So with the kid classes, I mean, we have an interesting niche when it comes to like how we present our package, our jiu-jitsu. So with the kids classes, we have our tiny pandas, and if they're
It's huge.
yeah, if they're potty trained and they don't have to wear a diaper, we've
That's cool.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
we've created
it's so
a
adorable.
very unique program
That is
where
cool.
they're playing games. And those games develop, and the parents are like, oh my God, my kid's doing jiu-jitsu, 3, 4, 5 years old, you know?
Yeah.
And so that right
Very
there,
capable.
yep, I call it unicorns and rainbows. And then the alpha class is for kids who graduate from the tiny panda class. Alpha class is for kids between
Like 6 and 10, or like brand new spanking new kids to martial arts. And so they'll get a taste of it. And then, you know, if they're a little older, they'll go to the 5 o'clock class.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the alpha is 5 o'clock. Or
Alphas is at 4:15, and then
And then-
Omegas is at 5 o'clock. So
Omega,
those are the older ones.
older kids.
Right.
Okay. What age group is that? It's kind of like
Like
18, something like that.
10 to 13, 14. There's
Yeah.
like a lot of overlap. And so we'll see
depends
where
on their
they
size
belong.
too. You know, if they're
It's on a lot of stuff, right?
if they're a
lot of
small
things.
16-year-old, you know, they can be in the, you know, we give them the option to train in the Omega class or with the adults or both, you know. So, but I think the interesting thing is, you know, coming from a military background, having recently retired, you know, the alpha class is a mix of, you know, they're having fun, but there's responsibility, accountability, discipline. But when they get to that Omega class, you know, we call it love and tough love. So,
Yeah.
so, you know, we want them to understand that, you know, when you're dealing with leadership, when you're dealing with adults, there's a certain kind of respect that needs to be established, a certain kind of discipline that needs to be presented and be there that maybe kids in the alpha and tiny panda range might not understand. But, you know, let's be honest, a lot of these kids out there right now, the idea of discipline and respect and, you know, how you speak to adults, it's changed a lot. And I feel like the Omega class helps those kids understand that better. I mean, wouldn't you think?
Definitely, there's tough love there in the Omega class, but we do get even the tiny pandas ready to progress. We're always trying to encourage progression.
Yeah.
So we have, after every single class, when we line up, we say, pandas, what is our ethos? And everyone knows grit. And we're like, what does that mean? Gratitude, respect, integrity, and teamwork. So the tiniest little ones to like the adults, they know our ethos, which is
Right.
like what we live by, what our culture is about.
Awesome.
And so
That's
grit.
cool. You have like, you know, it's not like 2 or 3. You have 3 kids classes. Yeah. It's not like
Right.
the little ones and then older is 3. So that's awesome. I understand like the progression. Yeah. I understand the difference.
Definitely. And we have homeschool kids too. Sorry, I forgot about those.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what does that mean? It's like a homeschool program, or you have like a class during the day? Is that what that means?
Same thing. Yeah, both things. It's a
Okay, got
homeschool
it.
program during the daytime. So it's Tuesday, Thursdays at 9 a.m.
Okay.
And so they get their own special time to hang out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Awesome.
And I think don't quote me on this, but I do believe that it counts as like a PE credit for their activity.
Got
So
it.
them participating with us in this homeschool program for the 2 days a week is it's really cool because the homeschool services, a lot of them will pay for them to train in this type of activity. So we always
Right.
work.
There's programs that we help
I
provide
see.
information to, and then they can get that covered. So
That's awesome.
It's really awesome because some of
Awesome.
those kids, you know, some of those parents, they're working hard and, you know, financially, you know, they might tend to struggle. And we always do our best to be resourceful and, you know, give these guys the best education of, you know, what is available to you. So a lot of these parents will come in for the homeschool services and be like, you know what, we can't afford it. And the cool thing is a lot of the parents, they help us out. They're very resourceful too. And the parents are the ones who told us about this,
Yeah.
it's a FEP program.
Pep.
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 PEP program.
I don't know what that stands for, but
PEP program. Yes.
like a step
Stands
up.
for something.
Yeah, step up for students or something like that.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's
Yeah.
neat, man. That's awesome. And so you have locker rooms over, like lockers for the shoes.
Yep.
How does that work?
So
Well, before we even get there, I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Put our shoes
you
in.
know, you're talking about, you know, shoes. You know, my amazing boss over here, she, you know, we're both nurses, and one of our biggest things is infection prevention. And coming from different other jiu-jitsu academies, I just felt like, you know, that wasn't a big priority. And, you know, she always makes me clean up after myself at the house. And so we're like,
Wash
you know,
your hands.
wash your hands. You know, what can we do here to, you know, provide better infection prevention, you know, not just for the kids, but for everybody, and something that they can take with them and utilize outside of the academy. And that's our big thing is what can we do here that, well, they will continue doing, off the mat. So,
So
you know,
take the next step, right?
yeah.
Okay. So we take our shoes off. We stick them in a cubby. Everyone does this. And then we step into our defense soap foot cleaning station. And it has like antifungal and antibacterial cleanser. And we change these out like on the daily.
Okay.
And then we dry off and then we enter the mat. Oh, and don't forget 1 pump of antibacterial. So hands and
It's
feet.
kind of cool having like this narrow area because it's like a little station.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
on both sides.
bottlenecks. You can't escape it. You have to.
Everyone's
Yes.
looking too. So that side also has waterless hand soap
Okay, cool. Awesome.
and defense soap step-in station.
Neato. So the same thing over there.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
are these paddles over here? What is that?
Oh, so it's, you know, it's a I love me wall. I highly recommend everybody should have one. But, you know, people always focus like, you know, we try to be as selfless as possible, and we always focus on everybody else. And it's like, you know what, you know, it's nice when people come in. It's like, so who's the professor? Who's teaching? Who's this guy? You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, I retired, and a lot of the other students were like, man, we should put something together for your retirement. And, you know, they helped put this together. Actually, our oldest student, made this right here. Tony, how old is he? 70, 71?
He's over 70.
He's
Yeah.
over 70 years old. I hope he doesn't mind us saying that, but they made this for me for my retirement.
They made the whole thing.
Yeah, they put this,
amazing.
and I think Nathan, one of our students, Nathan, but these paddles are from different places that I've been to. So, you know, whenever you leave one duty station, they give you a paddle out of appreciation. That's barbed wire
Got it.
from
Navy? Is it
Gitmo.
Navy?
Yeah, and the Navy. Yeah.
What is that up there?
Barbed wire
Okay.
from Guantanamo Bay when I was over there. Yeah.
Wow. How interesting. I had no idea they did that.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Love me wall.
Yeah. I didn't make it. I swear. My students made it for me. So.
You explained it. Show us the mat. This is a huge area.
Okay, so our mat is atypical. Like a lot of people, when they come here, you can step on. They really appreciate the uniqueness of it because it's a wrestling mat, and you know, so you have tatami mats, and if you've ever competed or trained on tatami mats, it's not very realistic for other situations or circumstances. So with that, you know, it's built more for somebody who works from their butt or who plays guard, and I'm all about guard play and working from your butt. But this wrestling mat is an equalizer. It benefits the person who likes to go for takedowns. It benefits the person who likes to play guard, but no person has an advantage over the other with this type of wrestling mat.
Okay, got it. What makes it different? I mean, it's the material.
There's no tatame on top. So if you've been to other academies, there's this stuff called tatame. It's kind of like a gritty kind of thing.
Yeah, a little gritty.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's very smooth. So whenever you're playing guard, you're able to like really have a very cool, dynamic, very fast guard. I feel like some people might not appreciate this kind of a mat because it stifles their guard a little bit. But people will tell me, man, I train guard here, and then when I go compete on tatami mats or I compete somewhere else, it makes it so much easier.
Oh, kind of like the baseball players using like 3 bats at once and then get up to the plate, right?
Exactly. So it's a smooth surface, but when you put your feet on it, right? It's still sticky. So you can shoot and you can work your neutral, work your takedowns on top of it versus with tatame, when you're trying to like grip and play judo or you're trying to wrestle on tatame, it's very hard to maintain footing. So this will allow you to maintain proper footing, not advantageously, but similar to like a real situation out there where like
At least more similar.
More similar. Yeah.
Right.
And the other thing I appreciate about what we've done here is that we got 2 mats, one on top of the other. So everybody has their own way of like increasing cushioning on the mats. Our mats are 1.5 inches each. So we have 3 inches of compression and give on these mats, 3-inch thickness, which is really nice. That's our Filipino star right there. And you got MAGJJ right there. A student made that for me in Virginia a long time ago.
This was the logo.
And then this is our primary logo right here. So
Tribal Panda.
Tribal
So
Panda.
having such a big place, you can also have like different sections going on at one time with the kids classes or the adults classes, right? I think one time we visited, you guys had at least like 2 things going on with the kids classes. Yeah.
We did, and we still do that a little bit, but we've really like fine tuned it. It's funny because we had a professor that was here before and they're like, what's up with all these circles? I don't like these circles, right?
Yeah.
And now these circles are amazing because what it does is it designates a specific area for a group of 2 or 3 people to train in. And there's this, what I forget what they call it, but oftentimes when people are training or people are rolling, somehow everybody always ends up.
Oh, Jiu-Jitsu relativity.
Jiu-Jitsu relativity. Everybody ends up like moving to the center. Whereas,
Way, but through the center?
yeah, everybody.
It's like a big blanket and everyone just comes together and bumps
Like a black
into each
hole.
other. Yeah.
Well, not here because we have wrestling circle. This is a wrestling mat. These are wrestling circles right here. You know, whenever we compete and whenever we do a competition play, you know, you have your lines here and they get ready, boom, and they're competing. But when we're not doing competition rounds, these circles here, you know, let people know, especially with kids don't have boundaries, right? But these circles give everybody boundaries for when they train.
We're all trained to use them.
Yeah.
Like what? Is it 12? No, almost.
They're 9, but we use the sun as a 10th one and then the spaces as an 11th and 12th one if we need it.
We have a newer, more improved mat. So Cale Sanderson, I went over to Penn State and his mat was amazing and it felt so good. And it really handled throws and takedowns. We're very throw and takedown heavy for the students, for the kids, not so much for the adults though. And so with that, I'm like, man, we got to take care of these people's bodies. What can we do? And when I went to Penn State, I was like, man, Cale, these mats are amazing. What are they? And he's like, Resolite. I'm like, Samsonite? You know, he's like, Resolite. I'm like, oh, Resolite. Okay. So I found Resolite and I found these mats are nice and thick and they have a very unique texture on top. And so it takes a long time to get. We ordered it 3 months ago.
Yeah, they should be coming in probably about 6 months.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. But it's going to have like the same circles, the same tribal panda, but it's going to have grit on there on the end.
Okay,
So,
got it.
and yeah, it's going to be really nice.
We got grit from a friend of ours, a teammate who just retired, warrant officer. And I was like, man, you know, I have these words in me. I just don't know what to pull out, what the foundation is. And then his name is Joe Overman. He's just like, grit. You're all about grit. I'm like, grit. He's like, yeah, gratitude, respect, integrity, teamwork. And I'm like, Joe, where'd you get that? He's like, that's our ethos. That's our thing. And I forget where he works, some type of operations type environment. And I'm like, man, I like that. Can I steal it? Yeah. So it's not mine. I wish we made it up, but we got it from a student who just retired.
It's going to be on our mats, though,
And it's
the
going
new
to be,
mats.
on our mats. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And that's for the water bottles over there, of course.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Water bottles. We have our cleaning station, first aid station, Band-Aids, boo-boos, all that fun stuff.
Wipes if their feet are like extra dirty. We make them scrub with the wipes.
Big fans, you know.
Yes. Got to keep the circulation, the air moving. And then
Always.
the cleaner we use is Odoban. Odoban is amazing. Everybody like swears by certain stuff. We swear by Odoban, the cleaner.
Okay.
Cleaner we use.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got that from wrestling. Bunch of wrestling people. They use that.
Odoban kills fungus. Oh man, what's that
There's a
stuff?
bacteria.
Ringworm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Dude.
no instances of ringworm since we've been doing the whole cleaning stations and always cleaning the mats.
And you'll have a lot of light coming in. Good grief, a lot.
That's Highway 90. Oh yeah.
You don't have to have the lights on at all.
No, we
No,
don't. We
it's
don't.
very relaxing without them on.
Save some cash that way.
Yeah.
Well, so we have a lot of people who are retired military who, might have had or have PTS. We have some people who have had TBI, traumatic brain injuries. And so it's really nice. Some of them come during the daytime. And I mean, even all the way up to like 6 o'clock, we can keep these lights off. And it really helps those people. It's really good.
All the way to 6 o'clock. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Like right now. Right now, yeah, definitely 6 o'clock.
I understand. Those are huge windows.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like going into the classroom when you're in school and the lights are off. Oh man. This is nice.
Very relaxing.
Okay, y'all want to sit down and I want to hear about your origin story, everything about
Yeah,
this.
of course,
let's
of
do it.
course.
Okay, man. Well, tell me exactly, how you got started. You want to start with your story? Start from the very beginning. Yeah. I mean, you have a military background, right?
Yes.
Of course. You're in the Navy. Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me, go back as far as you want.
Okay. Well, as far as I want, so everybody's has the same story. UFC 1, all the different martial artists all came together, and those are the best UFCs, by the way. The new UFCs are still great, but the older ones, when it was really style versus style, that was really cool.
Oh, I bet.
Yep. But I was training in Muay Thai and like a little bit of boxing. I did a lot of traditional Shotokan karate. And I was like, man,
hold on to tell everybody what that is because I know, but I can't even remember.
Shotokan karate.
Yeah.
You ever play Street Fighter?
Mm-hmm.
You know Ken and Ryu?
No, I don't remember.
No, those are the two main characters. But anyways, their main karate, their main martial art from Street Fighter 2 was Shotokan karate. And it's what's cool about it is that it's so basic. It's so there's a fighter, Wonder Boy Thompson. I don't know his full name, but he's a karate fighter. And like his style of fighting is not fancy karate. It's just basic fundamental karate. And he was really successful with it. Lyoto Machida. His style of karate is very basic, fundamental karate.
Okay.
And he did great with it. And that was my karate background, like growing up.
Okay. Got it. So tell me one more time. What was the other? You said something and then karate.
I like a little bit of
Muay Thai, right?
Muay Thai and just basic boxing.
Got it. And how old was this? How old were you?
Oh, good Lord. I was, started out
8 years old.
around 8, 9 years old. And
I was joking.
no,
Seriously.
Yeah. Around 8 or 9 years old. And
I mean, it's believable, of course. Yeah.
A
lot of people I talk to, they're, starting a lot older, actually. A lot of other academy owners, their teens are their 20s or something. Yeah. It's just how it's been.
I didn't find jiu-jitsu though.
Yeah.
Like I knew jiu-jitsu. I love jiu-jitsu. Like a unicorn. It was like you heard about it, you knew about it. It's hard to believe it's real because like where is it? You can't find it. And it didn't happen until 2003. I started looking for jiu-jitsu after my brother-in-law, Mike. It's all because of him that we have all this. My wife's brother, he went to a hoist. He was training. He went to a hoist Gracie seminar, and hoist gave him a blue belt at the seminar. He was really impressed with his, ability. And then one day, my wife's brother, Mike, brought
what
me
a lucky ducky.
Right. Brought me aside and he showed me some things. I'm like, man, I've always wanted to do this. Why am I just waiting for it to fall in my lap? I got to go out there and seek it. I got to find it. And in Atlanta, where the headquarters for Alliance Jiu-Jitsu, Jacare Cavalcanti, Romero Jacare Cavalcanti, I drove 45 minutes, almost an hour to go train with him for, oh my goodness, like 6 years. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you kept driving back and forth.
Yeah. Cause
Got
it was in Sandy Springs, north of Atlanta. Right.
Yeah.
And that was like center north. And I lived on the furthest side in Kennesaw, Georgia. And so I would have to go down this highway from Kennesaw, get onto the perimeter. If you've ever lived in Atlanta, there's this thing called the 285 perimeter.
Yeah, yeah.
So
We've traveled many times. Yeah, yeah.
I go south, hit the 285 perimeter, then I'd go north, and that took about 45 minutes to an hour. And I would train like, good Lord, I was addicted, like 5-6 days a week.
We'll go back to, hold on. Let's go through your teens. Are you doing like, did you stick with Muay Thai and karate through your teens and
Karate.
karate? Okay.
Loved karate.
And then you got into the military right after college. Is that right? Or
No. So, I didn't have my stuff together, and I was 17 years old, and, I realized, a lot of these people are going right into college, and a lot of people are like staying at home, to go to college. And I realized that I wasn't the most studious, most academic person. And so I was like, man, if I'm going to get my stuff together, if I'm going to really make it happen, I got to leave home, which was Corpus Christi, Texas. So I left Corpus Christi, Texas in 1996. And then I joined the military, joined the Navy. Yeah, yeah. And then, that's, but I didn't do karate the whole time. My main mentor and leader, or my main guidance came from a sensei, Jeff G, amazing Shotokan karate practitioner.
Okay.
And but you're when you're a teenager, your priorities are all over the place, and martial arts wasn't one of them. So
that was just like a portion of your growing up, but it was just a portion. Yeah, it was a side thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And was UFC going on at the time? I mean, of course, but were you watching it?
Oh, it was hard to find, dude. The UFC was hard to find. I don't know if you've ever talked about this with anybody else.
Not a lot. Yeah.
Oh my God. It was called bare knuckle fighting, and it was, everything went like, you could like punch a guy in the groin. You could you could do a lot of things that now are considered illegal. Hair pulling. They were pulling each other's hair, grabbing at each other's fingers, everything, losing teeth. And so, scratching each other. Everything was just like, it was called no holds barred, like bare knuckle fighting. And the idea, the whole MMA, mixed martial arts, didn't really come to fruition until a couple years into the future. But in order to find those movies, you had to wait literally.
Oh, it was movies. It wasn't like you weren't watching it live.
It's hard to find live.
It was like WCW, WWF coming out with the videos, Blockbuster.
You had to wait. Yeah, because those pay-per-views were hard to get to, right? You had to wait a couple months, and then it's on VHS, and then you get all your friends together, you get the VHS tapes, and you're watching them at home. So yeah.
Is that what you did? Did you go to Blockbuster and get them?
No, Blockbuster didn't have them. It's always like the local mom and pop VHS stores that would have
Hollywood Video. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. If that's still a thing.
I don't think so. That's funny. So so what happened during the military? Did you get into martial arts? Are you still into karate at all in any way?
We being in the military, we would like people who did martial arts and people who like to wrestle, we'd all find each other, and it was kind of like backyard, get together, let's scrap. And good man, when you were enlisted back then, like especially me, I was in deck department. And for those military people who know what deck department is you don't even have a job, you don't even have a real rating. So when you're there, you're basically, if you're in a ship and think of the worst place in the US, I guess Compton. Do you know what Compton is? A really bad city where bad things happen. Yeah. My berthing, where I worked at, that's where all the bad stuff happened. That's where they put all the troublemakers, the people. Back then, you had to, you could, and I didn't go to jail or anything like that, but people had an option. If you did something bad, you could do prison time or you could serve the military. I worked with those guys. I was a high school kid, just trying to figure things out. And I was working around like some people who were pretty intelligent and some people who were pretty violent. Okay. And so, you had to be able to protect yourself.
So wrestling, martial arts, it was like a thing for you still.
Yes.
Personal interest, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a friend, his name is Glenn Dearman. And he was a amazing Filipino stick fighting and Filipino martial arts. And, during my enlisted time, we were really good friends. We're still friends to this day. And the funny thing is, when I do my jujitsu, I still implement some of his Filipino martial arts in my jujitsu. So that's very unique. But he would teach us some things, and we would all get together and we'd spar, and we wouldn't beat the crap out of each other, but we'd go hard and have a good time.
On the deck or below?
Everywhere.
Okay.
In berthing, on the deck, sometimes they'd have this thing called smokers, where you'd be out on the non-skid, and non-skid is it's like this, but sharper and more grainier. It's very dangerous.
Okay.
And we would just wrestle, or we'd put on these big
on that.
Yeah. We'd put
just
on these,
because
put on these big 16-ounce gloves, especially when the Marines came on board, because we were on an amphibious ship. And so, man, whenever people were it's like, okay, we're out to sea, everybody's angry, what do we do? The worst thing you could do, smokers, put on the gloves, or let's wrestle. They gave us mats to wrestle on, but if not the mats, you're on the non-skid, kind of like this stuff here, 16-ounce gloves, and you just not allowed to punch in the face. So it's like above the waist and below the neck.
Now, when they're punching, were they punching for real punching, or almost for real?
Oh, as hard as they could. Oh, okay. Yeah. You got to get it out of your system.
And they let you do that?
Yes.
At least back then?
Yes, they did.
Yep. Why don't they still do?
I don't know.
Maybe not.
It's a different military now. So a little bit more gentler, a little kinder.
Yeah. So it was a funner military for sure. Yeah. That sounds cool, man.
Yeah.
And were you still watching it back then? Were you buying the VHS, having it sent to the ship? Were you?
The ship was.
It was on YouTube.
I don't think the ship people found a way to get movies in, but the ship would always get things in. So I don't think the UFC was one of them, but somebody always had the UFC in the VHS tape,
with them
in the ship.
Way. Okay, yeah, cool. That's neat. And so after the military, I mean, are we talking about many years later, or talking a few? I mean, how long were you in?
I was in so I had a break in service. So when I got out because I met my wife during my enlisted years, and I'm Catholic, and I saw one of my most favorite people on earth, Pope John Paul II, right?
Okay.
And it was the December 22nd, the Jubilee in Vatican, Rome. Yeah.
Okay. You were there?
I was there. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
December 22nd, the Jubilee, Pope John Paul II. He passed away a couple years later, but I was like, man, this is the coolest spiritual experience at the time. And
was it a surprise being able to do that, or
yes, it was
coming up, or
no, because we were military, we were in our civilian clothes, but all these different countries all came together, and they just came, and they just came there to express gratitude and show thankfulness, and we just happened to be there. It was just perfect timing, and
okay, cool.
Got to see that. But on that day, right in St. Peter's Basilica, is this really cool church, and there's a statue called the Pieta. That's where I met my wife.
Oh,
yeah, I met my wife there
that day,
and then we just when I came back home.
Was she military, or?
Dude, I was stationed in Virginia. She was I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia. She's from Virginia Beach. Yeah. So when I came back, she was there to meet me.
Pause. Maybe I didn't hear you right. Was she in the military at the time? She was there on vacation with family or something?
No. She was there on her own. She was going to Imperial College. She was doing
I got it.
Yeah, she was a smarty.
Okay, so it worked out. That's God. Yeah. That's God for making everything. Yeah, that's exactly. Cool, man. That's really cool. And so, how did everything come to be after the military?
She wanted me out.
How did you get into jiu-jitsu?
Okay.
Yeah. She wanted you out. Well, let's go with that.
She wanted me out. So
I get it. That was the break.
That's the break right there. Okay. She was like, I can't have you deploying and doing all those things, if we're gonna get married. And so that's where we went to Atlanta, right? So I'm 21, 22 years old. We moved to Atlanta, and then her brother Mike beats me up.
Her brother lived there in Atlanta.
We went to visit in Virginia Beach. and he showed me like he reintroduced me to jiu-jitsu, and I was like, man, this stuff is so amazing, you know. And I said, I'm not gonna wait for it. I'm not gonna just read about it. I'm just gonna go find a place. I'm gonna do it. And so,
What did you like about it? What was just give me like the gist of like, what was unique about it at the time?
I
What
mean,
made it so special?
you know, everybody's gonna say this, but man, you know, you watch this guy who's not even 180 pounds, maybe 170, soaking wet in a gi. You see him, and he looks so unassuming, you know, and then he's there with all these people who just look like they can just tear you apart. And this guy, unassuming, tiny, with pure technique, just beat every different style.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what got me, you
Yeah.
know, and I'm not a big guy. I mean, I'm bigger compared to most, but back then I was still around 150, 160 pounds.
Got it.
Right now, I'm
Okay.
about 170, 175. And I was just like, you know, this is it right here. I have a good foundation in some stand-up stuff like karate, but I wanted to have jujitsu, you know, in my life. So I
Did you
started
feel
out.
like jujitsu was the best martial art at the time?
I did.
That makes, yeah,
100%. Yeah, I felt like it was the best martial art at the time. Yes.
yeah, cool. And so tell me how it blossomed. You started going to Atlanta. Is that when the 45-minute drive started
45-minute drive.
from Virginia or from here?
So I lived in
Like, no,
Kennesaw.
not for me. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I lived in Kennesaw.
4 hours, not 45 minutes. Got
I lived in Kennesaw, right? And then I would make that drive 45 minutes. And jiu-jitsu was different back then. Like if I were to have here the kind of jiu-jitsu that I was introduced to, like it wouldn't be like this. Alliance was amazing, but as soon as you got in there, they weren't your friend. They didn't want to know you. They just wanted to beat you up. You get in there and they just tear you apart. There's three of us that went there. And then one of them was like, I'm not doing this. Well, I'm not going to pay for this.
Do you think maybe that could have been the overall culture of jiu-jitsu back then here, back then, because it was a newer thing and people were not being humbled enough yet?
No.
Does that make sense? Okay.
No.
It was just the way
Everywhere. Even in Brazil.
Got it. Okay,
A lot of
okay.
machismo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like a gang. Like if anybody sees this and they're from Georgia and they're there from back in the day, they'll know what I'm talking about. Like I didn't anticipate being part of a gang, but literally like my academy versus your academy. You know, I represent my academy, you represent yours.
So it's definitely not the feel nowadays, right? It's not the vibe overall, right? That's not the general vibe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think it
please.
depends.
No, tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
That's what I'm getting. Yeah.
You're wrong.
Yeah, cool.
I think it depends. I think some
Depends.
places like want to be family friendly, and some places are just aggressive, very testosterone. And I'm all about testosterone, but some are.
And it's natural to be that way in that setting, of course. It's natural. We're
Yeah.
talking about people adapting to being less aggressive and macho.
Yeah.
So that's the normal, you know, instinctual way to be in that setting.
Yes.
So it's my theory that over time it's changed. So you're thinking that not necessarily, right? A lot of cases it has, but not everywhere.
Not everywhere. Yes, exactly. It's changed for the most part. You have more places that are either like spectrum wise shifting to completely family friendly, which is more like us. Then you got those people who are trying to meet in the middle and be family friendly, but also appeal to that, you know, super Neanderthal, like, you know, like aggressive, you know, environment. That's whoever can figure out that formula, good on them.
Okay.
Then you got the far shift, and you just got those academies where you walk in and you walk out and you go to the hospital, you know?
Sure. Okay. I have an interesting question. The academies that are more that in that direction, in your opinion, what do you think they are more likely to be on the competitive jiu-jitsu side, sport of jiu-jitsu, or self-defense? Or it just depends.
MMA or competitive jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Self-defense,
More practical.
I think it's more practical. I think, you know, cause like, let's say for instance, like heel hooks, right? Like, do we do heel hooks here? Yeah, we do heel hooks. Do we teach heel hooks? Sometimes. Do we really push it? It's like, when are you ever in a self-defense situation gonna find yourself, getting heel hooked or heel hooking somebody? You know what I mean? And so, you know, you got these academies where, you know, they're, you know, and do I like wrist locks? I do, but you know, we just don't really push or promote that, you know? And then you have some academies and it's fine, but that far shift that we're talking about right here with those kind of people, that's the kind of environment that you're in. It's like, if one of our guys gets you in a guillotine, right? And we can't like get a choke on you, we're not going to try to crank your neck, right? But you have some places where it's like, okay, I got your neck. I'm not going to choke you. So I'm just going to, you know, crank your neck. or, you know, I have a heel hook and you're not going to tap. So I'm just going to keep going until you tap. Ooh, no, we don't do that. That makes sense.
Okay. Sure. All right. So now take me all the way till when you started this place.
Mm-hmm.
How did it begin? You said your brother-in-law had something to do with it, or he had something to do with your interest at least, right?
Interest. Yeah. So this was interesting because like one of my brothers, a good friend of mine, Ricardo, he opened up an academy, Ricardo Tubbs, a great academy, the firm that still exists in Virginia. And I'm like, man, I'd love to do that someday. You know, I didn't find it in the cards when we opened this place up. I was just kind of like, you know what, man, we were very lucky. We went to a place, Maddox, and we trained there. And I'm like, good Lord, it's so family friendly. It's so organized and it's so family oriented. And I'm like, man, I would love to find something like that here. Right. And, the hardest part for me was 2017, I was deployed, and you're asking, why did this happen? Why did we do this? Right. And that's an interesting story that I typically don't tell people, because back in the day I would get, flashbacks. Right. But, I got injured, badly injured, on deployment. I got a bad head injury, and, they gave me a month to recover, and I can't say I'm still broken, because then they'll phase me out, you know? I'm like, man, I want to retire. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Everything's fine. You know, I told them what they wanted to hear. And then they brought me over here 2017. And, you know, I'm getting these really bad symptoms, from my head injury, bad head symptoms, nausea, dizziness. I'm like, man, I feel like
you're married at this time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Married. We got married. She's gonna get mad at me. 2001, I believe. And we've been married ever since, you know. Whenever we moved here, you know, we had our little kids and everything. It's 2017.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to make it. You know, I don't know what's going on with me. I go
not
to
going to make it, meaning not going to make it.
Yeah. I
mean, you're having head injuries. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess,
it's symptoms.
I guess the word that they use nowadays is delete. So I thought I was going to delete. And I'm like, man, this is like, I can't, I'm like, what's my wife going to do? You know, she can do nursing and stuff. What's my family going to do? And I'm like, okay, I had to figure out two things. You know, I'm like, okay, I got to create an environment that is self-sustaining, that, you know, she can manage. And I never told her, and nobody ever wants to hear from their spouse. Your kids don't want to hear from their dad. You know, I'm not going to make it, you know? And so I just kept it to myself. I just had this drive. And I just, you know, I prayed, and man, you know, God is good. But, you know, when we created this, I wanted to, if I wasn't going to make it, I wanted my wife to be able to have something and my kids to be in a place that they felt safe. And I felt that if I could do that for them, it could be a place for other families and other kids and other parents to feel safe. And that's how it all started. It started with me looking around, can't find a place. At the same time, what can I do to provide my family with something that, God forbid, I'm not here anymore, you know, could be sustainable for them.
Straight up drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going on internally all the time, and you can't express it at least all the time.
No.
Yeah. But it's a constant thing, and that's driving your every move, I bet.
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
good
Yeah,
Lord.
because you're talking about your health. I mean, that's a constant. And you're talking about, something going on with your head. So it's like you don't know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I want you to talk about this place here. I want you to talk about the environment that you're touching on there, because I feel it every time I come. This is the third time, and I feel it with, number one, your wife's here each time, and you have a lot of kids that go here. Everything is so clean. You guys, you have the medical background, and so organized.
Yeah.
The branding is so amazing. Everything is a family atmosphere, sustainable, everything that you just said. So you did it. And I know you know that. But tell me exactly, what makes this place so unique. I know there's several things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beginning with I'm going to start out with this little lighter note.
No, for sure, for sure. You know, our system for tracking our students, it's very transparent and it's redundant. So we have our card system, and then we have our check-in system. So the kids are checking in with the cards, and they're also checking in
laptop. Yeah.
in the laptop. And then we also have a staff member that verifies, their attendance here. The cool thing is, when you have these physical cards, though, is that the kids, they'll check in, but they can't see their progress. And a lot of times, like,
Yeah, this is just like, I'm here, and this is, the next step.
progress. Yeah. Yeah. And it's everybody, kids and adults, they can watch their progress, see their progress.
Oh, adults too. Got it. Okay.
And that incentivizes and it motivates them to keep pushing forward. It's like,
Yeah.
and it's almost like an achievement, like these days, everybody's about, you get a little star sticker, you get a little achievement, whether it's video games or on your graded paper in school.
Yeah.
And so this right here, whenever they see this, like, if it's a blank piece of paper and you might see a couple checks here, it's not an achievement. You don't feel good about yourself,
Right.
But we got some people who literally train every day. And, when they see that, it's like, man, this is my progress. This is me. And it's like visibly and physically there that you've achieved that.
Yeah, because they know it internally, but they're not constantly thinking about it, and they know they've been here. But yeah, that's really cool to see on paper. What kind of things does it say, like the card?
So
would it be like sentences, writing? What is it?
Well,
Color coded or?
No, I mean,
Is it like they learn a new move or?
yeah, no. So
Okay, go ahead.
it's an attendance record, right? It has their name. It shows the class that they're in. It shows that the current belt that they are.
Got it.
It shows their start date. I was in academies where I'm like, and you shouldn't, as a black belt, I'm like, you shouldn't ask about your stripe. But when I was like going from white, blue, purple, I'm like, when am I going to get my stripe? When am I going to get my stripe? And the thing is that the professors really didn't know either. They were just kind of like, hey,
Sure.
he's been here long enough. Let's give him a stripe.
They don't have a card in their head.
You know what I mean? But this right here, it keeps the kid accountable, right? And that's the biggest thing for us is ownership and accountability, on their side and our side. And so with that,
So in a way, it keeps you accountable in a sense as well.
100%.
Yeah, the instructor.
100%.
Right.
Kids, like, when the adult's like, hey, I haven't been striped in a while. I don't have to say anything. I'm like, look, this is your attendance right
Yeah,
here.
let's go over the details. Yeah.
Or I'm like, and we look at this all the time. We're constantly refreshing like a computer. And so, I see the start date. It even shows when's the last time you got belt tested, So, I mean, this right here is,
That's cool.
the stripes, you got the first stripe, on this date. Second stripe was, on this date. So it shows like everything. We're very meticulous. Yeah.
That is neat, man. Yeah. It's not that hard to do, right?
No.
Yeah. I think that's pretty cool. That way it's not just like out there in the ether.
Right? No.
Which is okay too. It's just a different style. But
no, it's not okay.
Go ahead. No. You tell me.
I'm getting to an age right now where I used to kind of just be like, yeah, you're right. And now I've gotten to an age where I'm kind of like, no, it's not. you know, but it's not okay. It's like, we can do better. We can all do better. The kids can do better. If we're going to put it on the kids, we need to put it on ourselves as well.
Well, I think that's another part of this place that I noticed that is unique, is that you are not afraid of evolution, evolving the sport and the way things are done.
Yeah.
Right. Can you tell me a little bit how like you're implementing certain things from wrestling into jujitsu?
Well, you know, you're bringing up the wrestling, and you know, before we even get into the wrestling, a really quick thing. One thing we learned in the military, and one thing that I learned through my faith is, you know, there's only one perfect being that ever existed on this earth, and you should always strive for perfection, knowing that you'll never be perfect, right? And in the military, they call that process improvement. You know, if you stand here and go, "I've done everything I can, I'm good," you know, there's something wrong there. You know, you always have to ask yourself, what can you do to do better? And for me, I'm like, you know, some people, they'll hit the gym, and after a certain period of time, they're like, "Oh, I plateaued. I'm not getting stronger." Right? Well, take a step back and see what's going on. And so our jujitsu was getting really good, right? But I'm like, you know what? Something's missing here. And I'm not going to say that I caught on before ADCC caught on, but like, you look at jujitsu competitions now, there's a big emphasis in this position called the neutral or stand up. And I'm like, wrestling's got it. Now, wrestling might not have the guard game, right? Wrestling might not have the attacks from the back, but their like stance is amazing. And with that, I started diving in almost like almost an addiction into wrestling, where, you know, there was a time when I got so deep into the wrestling part that some of the parents were kind of like, "Man, this guy's getting so into this wrestling. What about the guard game? What about this?" And I'm like, we've already got it. Why?
Instead of like thinking there's something there.
Yeah. There's something
But
there.
this is what humans do, right?
Right.
We see something. Oh, that's intriguing. Let me explore. So there was something there that you saw that was real and was very practical in the sport.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's you. That's me. That's what we do. You know, you got people who are wash, rinse, repeat. You know, you're curious. Before we even had this conversation, you're like, "That's me. I'm curious." That's why I get so excited about these things. I'm the same kind of guy. You know, you got a lot of people in their jujitsu journey where at some point they just, you know, it's just like a 9-to-5 job. Wash, rinse, repeat. There's nothing new to you know, to seek out. But we're not like that. And that's what got me into the whole wrestling thing, is that I see things in wrestling, and people are always like, "Wrestling's the weaker art. Jiu-jitsu is better," you know? And it's like, well, what if it's all like, what if it can all be kind of the same? What if we can just pick apart and choose and integrate those things? Because wrestling's picking up jiu-jitsu things too. Like, you'll see some people who wrestle, and you'll see parts of jiu-jitsu that have been implemented into wrestling. And I'm like, you know what? That's flattery, and I appreciate that. Why can't we do the same? And so, you know, instead of dogging on wrestling, I'm like, no, we need to look at what wrestling is doing right, implement it into our game. And I mean, now you see more academies are picking up on wrestling, not completely, you know, but for us, I feel like, you know, right now we have a good balance. When it comes to the kids,
that's the thing too, is like, not completely, because maybe overall, maybe wrestling is the lesser martial art, if you will. And so that's not what you're doing. You're picking, you know, what could be implemented.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one misunderstanding there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. You know, and so with that, like us, we have a curriculum. We implement a curriculum when we teach, and we make sure that within that curriculum, right? Most days we dedicate about 20 to 40% of our time towards the neutral, whether it's pulling guard or shooting for the takedown or setting up, either one. For the adults, you know, most adult jiu-jitsu, we don't practice the actual takedowns, right? Where we'll, like, you know, blast double somebody or single leg somebody, but we will do the techniques and we'll build the repetition. And in our adult class, at least 20 to 30% of the time, we will, you know, focus on our neutral. And I think that's important, especially from a self-defense perspective, because in a self-defense situation, you know, everything starts in the neutral or the stand-up.
Yeah. And then the neutral means when you're standing there. Yeah. Face to face. Right. Well, that's cool, man. That's so good for you. You know,
Thanks.
for being curious that way.
They used to make fun of me a couple years back. They would dog on me. Like, what is this stuff? Why are they doing this stuff?
Who would?
I'm not saying names, but people.
I thought you meant like maybe students, but maybe
No,
just
no.
people.
Well, some students would have left. I stayed to my convictions.
Sure.
I stayed to my convictions. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. And now I'm not saying that we started the trend, but other academies are starting to adopt and realize that there's a benefit to putting more emphasis and not just guard pulling, not just a basic blast double, not just a basic double leg takedown, but the arm drag, the 2-on-1 Russian, the head inside single, the ankle pick, all those things. If you asked a jiu-jitsu player 5 years ago, what's an ankle pick? They're going to be like, that's the thing that you pick with your teeth. No. Now you ask a decent jiu-jitsu player who's been training for a while what an ankle pick is now. Everybody knows what an ankle pick is. And 5 years ago, they weren't doing that.
Okay, so there's a reason for that. Yeah, and you've found that reason. Yeah. What about your guys' medical background? That's helping a lot, of course. You have the thing with the pens here, and then I don't see the hand sanitizer at every place, just like right there. This section, just like we said, is like a funnel.
Yes.
So that's cool, man.
Yes.
It sounds like you're always trying to like innovate and find better ways of doing things.
Yes.
And that's a certain aspect of about it is the medical, the cleanliness of everything, right? Yeah.
Huge.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you brought that up, it's like, that's what it's not just me, it's my wife. My wife is like, the part I play in this, it's what everybody sees in at face value. But behind the curtain, who's doing all these things, who has all these great innovations and ideas. I mean, there's a lot of people who are gym owners who are doing it all on their own, and I applaud them, but my wife and I, Jasmin, like we're 50-50 all in. And I know for a fact that I don't know everything. And so I need that, that feminine perspective, of how to do things better. And so where I might find ways to improve the mat, she might have some insight on the mat, but man, like you said, we're both nurses, and the ultimate thing outside of jiu-jitsu, I'm like you said, how do we stand out? What makes us different from other places, And I'm like, man, safety on the mat, safety in here. We got a peanut allergy sign down there.
Yeah. So
no peanuts, severe allergies. And it's like we take criticism. Like if a parent says, hey, what about this? We don't just blow it off. I'm not saying other people do, but me and my wife's nursing background, we put such a big emphasis in safety and in health that goes beyond the self-defense aspect. So kind of like you said, I think it's important. Like we should all, in the nursing world, it's called wash in, wash out. So when you come in, you disinfect. When you go out, you disinfect. And a lot of places aren't doing that, and it puts people at risk. There's people who don't even know that they're autoimmune suppressed.
Sure. Yeah.
Meaning that they're susceptible to sickness.
Right.
They don't know it. But we do our best to protect anybody and everybody when it comes to, the parents, even the babies, what are you going to bring home with you when it comes to, sickness and disease? So those things help take care of that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for meeting up today, man. You guys are doing so great, being innovative and being open. Because you just hit on that, being open to criticism. If somebody, you're not like, that's really cool, man. Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Well, I hope you have a great day, man.
It's been a blessing.
Yeah, it's been so fun. I've had a great day today, and I really appreciate what you're doing, man. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thank you for coming here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.